Alright, so we got a big game this week. Another road game against another Ohio team. We have the Bengals up in Cincinnati this week. So, big game up there to try and keep the good times rolling and complete this little AFC North gauntlet the Lions have been on. Because so far, out of 3 games, the Lions have took down Baltimore and Cleveland. The last team left in this gauntlet is Cincinnati. So let's take a look at this week's matchup against the Bengals and see how the Lions fare against this banged-up Bengals squad. But like I said before, don't underestimate anybody. You can't take anybody for granted in this league. So, of course, coming into this game, Detroit, they are heavy favorites coming into this game as they are currently 10.5-point favorites over the Bengals. So, 11 points favorites Detroit are. So, Detroit's not only expected to win, they're expected to win big. However, Cincinnati, they lead the all-time series over Detroit 10-3. Cincinnati has been an absolute thorn in Detroit's side for so many years. They have always had Detroit's number. Like the last time the Lions won in Cincinnati, it's ironically the last time the Lions beat the Bengals, which was all the way back in 1992. So it's been a while since the Lions last beat the Bengals. It's been over 30 years. Jesus fuck. Detroit this year so far is 1-1 on the road. Cincinnati's only had 1 home game so far. That was the game where Burrow got injured. Spoilers. Yeah, that's crazy. Through 4 games, Cincinnati's only played 1 home game so far. They've been on the road a lot early in the season. Jesus Christ. Of course, at quarterback, though, for this week, it will not be Joe Burrow, as Joe Burrow's out till December with grade 3 turf toe. So it will be Jake Browning getting the call for the Bengals, unless Cincinnati goes a different way. Because the last 2 weeks we've seen that Bengals offense with Jake Browning, yeesh. And there's even questions if Burrow even comes back this year or not, because with the way Cincinnati's played, there's a chance the Bengals could be eliminated by December if they keep playing at this rate. So it may not be worth it to bring Burrow back. We'll have to see, though. But yeah, Jesus Christ. Burrow's becoming more of a what-if player than anything. You know? Like, Burrow's an extremely talented QB, don't get me wrong. But this man cannot stay healthy. He's had now 3 potential season-ending injuries in 5 years. Good God. At least 6 years, actually, now. Jesus Christ. Like, it's literally 50-50 if he goes the whole year healthy or not. Because in this league, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't stay healthy, you will not survive long. That's a fact. Anyway, continuing on, the running back for this squad will be Chase Brown, as Chase will get the ball for it. It will be the running back for the Bengals. The receiving core includes it's anchored by the likes of Jamar Chase, one of the top receivers in the league. T. Higgins and Mike Gesicki at tight end. On the D-line is anchored by Trey Hendrickson, one of the top pass rushers in the league last year, who led the league in sacks. You also got other playmakers in there like Joseph Asai, Cam Sample, and TJ Slade. Now, Shamar Stewart is questionable for this game with an ankle injury. Linebacking core, you have Demetrius Knight and Logan Wilson anchoring that core. And the secondary is anchored by the name like the likes of Daxton Hill, Cam Taylor, DJ Turner, Geno Stone, and Jordan Battle. The head coach of the squad for the Bengals is Zach Taylor, who's really on the hot seat coming into the year, but he might be staying around though because Bengals owner Mike Brown might give him a pass because of Burrow going down again. I mean, again, Cincinnati has proven to be patient with head coaches. Like, for Christ's sakes, they gave Marvin Lewis 16 years of mediocrity, for fuck's sakes. So Taylor will probably have a long leash, too. Offensive coordinator is Dan Pitcher, and the defensive coordinator is Al Golden. The Bengals' offense currently, it's the worst-ranked offense in the league at 32. Then again, how much of that, though, is because of Joe Burrow being gone the last couple games? Because with Joe Burrow in there, that offense is probably top 5, top 10 in that category. Like, that just shows how much a night and day difference this offense, Cincinnati's offense, operates between Joe Burrow and Jake Browning. Like, Dashy can say whatever he wants about Jake Browning and all that. Here's the thing, though. He's not Joe Burrow. This Bengals team was built for Joe Burrow and Joe Burrow alone. The passing game for the Bengals is the 30th ranked offense, and they have the worst rushing attack in the league in 32nd. The Bengals defense is also the bottom 4 in defense and 29th. They are 30th against the pass, but they're 26th against the run, so Cincinnati's defense struggles a bit. So I think, obviously, the keys to winning this game, got to get pressure to Jake Browning to contain him. You know, we've seen before you get pressure to him, he folds like a cracker. And which will prevent him from doing any damage to try and get Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Because if Browning gets enough time to throw the ball to Chase or Higgins, they could do some damage there. So not only that, also got to find a way to shut down Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Because that's going to be a big priority right there. And I think, of course, offensively, we got to establish the run game, run that ball down Cincinnati's throat, just pick them apart. You know, win the turnover battle, just pretty much do everything we did against Cleveland, but clean up some of the shit we struggled with against the Browns. Maybe not spot them 7 points. But yeah, honestly, for this game, there's really not much in terms of expectations. Like, the expectation is win. I mean, when you're 11-point fucking favorites in this game, you're expected to win, and win big. So the Lions just got to go to Cincinnati, do their job, and go conquer another demon. And I do have the Lions winning this game. Like, I'll be honest, I would have actually been more scared of this Bengals team if Joe Burrow wasn't hurt and still playing. Because if Joe Burrow was playing, he'd probably be throwing 500 yards and 5 touchdowns on us. That's no lie, because Burrow's that talented and he can throw the ball that well. Like, if Joe Burrow was playing, this would probably go down as one of the highest scoring games. Where, to be honest, if Burrow was playing in this game, honest to God's truth, I think both teams score 40 points each. Because Cincinnati has no defense, and Joe Burrow could do a lot of fucking damage. Like, there's a reason they don't call him Joe Shiesty for nothing. But, you know, we all seen the last couple weeks, this Bengals offense is useless without Joe Burrow. Like, say whatever you want about Joe Burrow, if he's overrated or not. Here's the thing, no. Joe Burrow was the one thing that was keeping Cincinnati from being a doormat in this league. Because Burrow's that good. Even if Cincinnati goes and trades for a backup QB like a Russell Wilson, or a Mac Jones, or hell, Anthony Richardson maybe. Or any backup worth a damn in this league. They could bring any of them in. Hell, they can even go and possibly even get Joe Flacco if Cleveland's stupid enough to do it. Here's the thing, though. None of those backups you could possibly bring in are Joe Burrow. The Bengals are built for Joe Burrow and Joe Burrow alone. Like, honestly, Joe Burrow is just becoming the new Andrew Luck. Talented QB, but is injury prone, and by the time Cincinnati will finally put an O-line and team around him, it'll be too late. Like, I'll be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised one bit if Joe Burrow pulls an Andrew Luck and retires in his prime because Cincinnati beats him up too much to the point to where Burrow can't handle it anymore. I would not be surprised if Cincinnati ran Burrow into the ground like that. Because it is the Bengals. I mean, Cincinnati's had... I mean, it's really tough to say there. But I think that's what's going to happen with Burrow there. It's a shame. Burrow's a talented QB. I like watching him play. Like, pretty disappointed he can't stay healthy. I just wish he could stay healthy. I mean, we know what the Bengals are capable of if Burrow stays healthy. Like, when Burrow's healthy, he's putting up borderline MVP numbers. But yeah, I have the Lions win this game. I'm not comfortable taking the Lions by that 11-point bet. I'm not really comfortable taking a team by double digits because when you pick a team to win by double digits, you're just asking for damn trouble. So I'm just going to do what I did last week, and I'm just going to take the Lions to win by 7. In terms of score, I think Cincinnati's offense might put up a fight against Detroit because the secondary's a bit banged up with DJ Reed going down, and we don't know Terry and Arnold's status. So I think Cincinnati, if they play their cards right, they could make this a game. But I think Detroit's going to be too much for Cincinnati to handle. Like, if Burrow was playing, I would have probably picked the Lions to lose this game. But with Burrow out, we all know the Bengals are useless without Joe Burrow. And I have the Lions winning this game 26-19. I think Cincinnati might put up a fight, but I think Detroit's going to be too much for Cincinnati to handle. And I think in the last couple of years, with the Lions conquering a lot of their demons, I think another demon gets conquered this Sunday afternoon. Because I think for the first time in 33 years, the Lions will finally beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. But yeah, that's just my thing. And even if the Lions do win, though, I don't know if this win will hit normally, normally if it was compared to a win against Joe Burrow and Jake Browning. Because if the Lions do win this game, all the media and all the haters are going to put an asterisk on it and say, oh, well, you only picked the Lions because you didn't have to play Joe Shiesty Burrow. Like, shut the fuck up, for Christ's sakes. I mean, if you're that good of a team, it shouldn't matter if it's Joe Burrow or Jake Browning or some fucking bum off the street. Next man up. No excuses. But yeah, it's pretty obvious the Bengals are pretty useless without Burrow, and they're about to go downhill. Like, that sucks too, though. One time the Bengals didn't get off to a slow start this year, and then Burrow gets banged up with turf toe. That fucking sucks. Honestly, Dashy, I do send my prayers to Joe Burrow. I wish him a speedy recovery, and hope he gets back on that football field soon. It's a shame what happened to him. I would have loved to play against Joe Burrow than Jake Browning. Because if it was Joe Burrow, that could really be the test to see where our defense truly stacks against a talented QB, one of the top QBs in the league in Burrow. Sadly, we don't get that measuring stick. It's pretty unfortunate, I think. But yeah, and of course, this game most likely is going to be a de facto home game. Because there's a very high possibility this game's going to get overrun with Lions fans in Cincinnati. Since considering that Cincinnati is not too far of a drive away from Detroit, I think it's 3-4 hours or some shit like that. It's not that far away. And so I think Cincinnati will once again will be the next stadium to be taken over by Lions fans. Don't feel that bad, Dashy. We've been doing it to every damn stadium in the league there is. Don't feel too bad about it. We've done it to every other stadium felt the impact of the one pride taking over. But yeah, let's go get this win. Let's go beat Cincinnati. A great chance to pull away in the NFC North now that the Lions are back at the head of the table where they belong. Especially with Green Bay on the bye this week. Get a chance to pull away. Although Green Bay's tie against Dallas might fuck everything up, though. When we get down to it in Week 18. Time will tell there. All I say is if we don't want that tie to fuck everything up, here's the thing, One Pride. We have 13 games left. And let's make them count starting this Sunday against Cincinnati. And let's make it count by getting a win, conquer the demon in Cincinnati, regardless if it has a fucking asterisk on it or not. Asterisk be damned. And let's get the 4-1. And let's keep this ball rolling and keep running the table in the North. And let's end this AFC North gauntlet off with a bang. But anyway, I'm out, and as always, go Lions.